overlander. So last week I showed you how I finished up all the plywood installed in the habitat. This week I started with the window trims and with the aluminum trims, you know, in the corners and stuff, but I'm not done yet. So I like to show you that if I be done, or I take some footage as I go, and then I will cut this together into another video. I realized, because I have the window frames in, the windows are already there. Can you spot them? There in the back, you can see them there, right? The windows are there. I need to sand them and paint them in the color of the truck. That's what I'm doing on the coming weekend, if I have time, because I have so many things to do right now, you know, on the project, because there's a lot of things, loose ends, let's say. There's a lot of loose ends. Thing is, I took care of my skylight now, because the skylight the top of the skylight where the glass sits in it, this part need to be powder coated. So I finished it today and dropped it off today at the powder coater. And just that you know, I will show you how I made the skylight now, you know, in this video here, but it won't be finished on the end. I just get to the stage where I dropped it off at the powder coater. So I will get it back next week, and I will do a kind of second part of this, you know, because then I will be able to put the glass in and caulk around it and install it finally, you know. So that I will show in the next video. This is actually the profile I used for the frame, you know. Oh, sorry, this is upside down. So that I give you the dimensions of this profile. You know, that the overall, this is 080, means 2 millimeter thick, mill finish material, aluminum. This leg is 1 inch. Then this leg is 2 inch. This 1.5 inch. It goes back 2 inch, and then down from the roof down into the habitat 3 inch, you know, because I want to butt my insulation right against it. So here, this pocket will be filled with insulation later on. And then on the inside, I will have a trim like that, I would trim, you know. And then this lip here will receive a sealing gasket. Push it on, so you see here. And then there is a lid on the skylight which pushes on the gasket. Let me show you. I have a piece here. So this is the lid shape, and actually, this is exactly what a cut looks like. Can you see it's pushing on the gasket? And it's tight here. That is my skylight. And here on this lip, there will be a butyl tape, and then the glass sits right up to the top. And then from the frame to the glass edge will be a silicone bead all the way around, so that the glass is absolute flush with the top. So if there's water standing on it, it doesn't pool up there, you know. I don't want to fish tank it kind of thing, you know. It runs right over, and then this way. This is also the reason why this is a little slanted and a little slope here. So it runs over the edge and then down. So that's the plan, you know. And this surface gets glued onto the habitat. So this is my hand as the habitat. There will be a big fat caulking bead here in this area, and then right into the glue. You know, and then is flush with the habitat roof. And then all the way around the perimeter here, you know, I will have a caulking bead as well, a concave caulking bead, you know, with UV resistant silicone. And then I rely also on the thick glue bead. So 1, 2 seal barriers basically before we see water inside. Okay, so that's the theory. And now let's check out how I made it. And et voila, here is my skylight frame. Just welded for now. I have welded all the window and hatch frames out of aluminum, so it doesn't take me long anymore to weld aluminum together. So that was done pretty quick. So now I have to clean the welding beads up. Now I have the frame cleaned up. You know, see, I just have to paint it now. And I thought about attaching the hinges. So I'm going to install a piano hinge. Here I have a little cut off of a piano hinge. So basically I'm attaching it, you know, I was holding it onto the metal and then I thought I have to drill through. So that's what I don't want. You know, I don't want to drill through the frame and create a potential leak. So therefore I have this T-slot, I call it a T-slot, that's 20 by 20 millimeter, a really small one. I got that one, I cut it in half and I welded it on here. So I have now a T-slot there where I can slide those little parts in there, you know, in the slot, and then tighten the piano hinge. I have those brake shapes now ordered. They look like that. Look like that, right? So you can see this sloped. So I will cut up those 4 pieces, which I need for that frame. So I have the parts cut now, you know, for the skylight lid. So that's basically how I want to weld it together. And then here in this pocket will be the glass. There will be a shim tape, a glazer's tape, and then the unit sits right in front of it all the way up to the top, and that will be filled with silicone. Now for the closing handle situation, I thought I have to mount the handle here basically. You know, like this is the open side, not the hinged side, right? The hinged side is on the other. So if I mount the handle here on that one, you know, like this is too high. So it needs to lock somewhere down here. So here will be the cover. You won't see this metal because it's inside covered probably with some wood or something. And in that wood, I will put a plate and a latch plate and then a handle where I can turn and then lock it. But the thing is, it needs to come down. I need the mounting surface for the handle is basically down here where my finger is. So therefore, I have a C-channel here, which is 2 by 1 inch. I cut 8 inches off of that, and then I shaped it. So here's the C-channel, and then I shaped it a little bit so it doesn't look too square, you know, like give a little bit a design, you know. And then I can't touch it. This is I still grind it, you know, it's so hot. And I put a sheet on it, a 2 millimeter sheet, and closed basically the open. You see this would be the right view on the thing. So, and I closed the open side of the C-channel with a 2 millimeter sheet metal. So now I have that welded on. That's the same level as the glass is sitting on in, you know, and this one goes down. Looks a little awkward now, but if it is powder coated, it blends in. If I open it, then this drops down. The backside can't be seen, you know, because it's so close to the trim on the inside then, right? But this surface here at the very bottom, this one, I can't touch it, it's too hot, is basically the mounting surface for the handle. So yeah, I brought it down, and aesthetically, it probably looks a little better than just a square kind of thing. So, here is my skylight. Let's move it this way a little bit so you see that side here. That one goes basically screwed on there, but not directly to the metal, because there will be not directly to the metal. There will be a trim on the inside. It's a little too big now. And then it goes basically onto the trim material and right through the metal. So I have a double layer of holding surface. Oh, my hand is in the way. So right there. And then the other part, that one, right there, here's the lip from the inside where the glass is resting in. Here's the glass basically, rests on this lip here. And this is where I'm going to weld this bracket on. Now I have roughly figured out where those brackets need to be. I haven't installed temporarily. I have it with clamps on there, here and there, you know, but it's just a matter of figuring out what angle and what distance you need to have those mounting plates. So basically the distance from here to the center of that, and also the center of that ball to, let's say, the bottom here or the top. Depends on what your reference is. But now if I close this, I still have the gas strut not fully closed. It's a little bit, just a width of a finger basically. It's extended. So my goal is to have this skylight, when I let it go, it snaps open basically, first slow and then it goes quick. I have to stop it a little bit because it whacks against the hinges, because there's no weight in it. The glass is the whole weight of it, right? So you see one strut is strong enough to lift this, but because he's pushing on one side, it twists the frame. So I have to install a second one here. I choose the one with an 8mm rod and a 19mm cylinder. The whole length extended is 447mm. I believe it was described as a 200mm stroke. So that's what this distance is, you know, that extending distance. The strength is always described in Newton meter. It was 120 Newton meter, or good for 30 pounds, each of them. It was the lowest pound which I could get, because the skylight doesn't weigh much, you know, you don't need really super strong struts there. Now I have these tabs welded on. They are welded right there, you know, both of them. And this frame is actually ready to be dropped off at the powder coater. So this is it from me for this week. You know, you saw how far I came with my skylight, you know, and about the glass and all the sealant and stuff I will talk in the next video when this whole thing is finally completely done. So that's my skylight with double glazed real glass, you know, but I will talk about the glass in the next video. And until then, stay tuned. I see you in the next one.